Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. 3 weeks from today, we'll begin 30 days of you not hearing Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. 3 weeks from today, you have a pariksha. You have an examination of how much you've internalized from this community, from this map. I'm sharing this in advance. I'm warning you in advance to ensure that you're internalizing. It is only through internalizing that one grows into independence. Exposure helps. It's the internalization that makes one extraordinary. Relatedly, chapter 13, verses 12 to 17 demand contemplation. These are not verses you can only hear once or write once. These require contemplation. On Thursday, our Practices to Perfection students had a pariksha. They had a test. This is out of 20. Their 10th question was, what is the function of contemplation? What is the function of contemplation? Tell me. Share in the chat. What is the purpose, the need for contemplation? To recognize I, to change our identification? Yes. You are solid students. It is to change what you feel you are. To change that I is an individual to I is the total. I is infinity. In verse 17, Shri Krishna shares, awareness, infinity, I is light. Period. Full stop. Our orientation of light is that light shines. This shows how stuck in duality we are. This shows how we take that which is natural like light and try to extract a utility from this, that it should shine on me. Please reflect lots on this. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, throughout Meaningful Mornings, selflessness has been encouraged in a systematic way. Selflessness is when I don't feel that everything should happen for this self. And if you're trained in this, you will understand and appreciate more the difference between light as nature versus shining, which is limited. How many of you understand what I'm talking about right now by show of hands? Good. This is a sublime thought, and the fact that you have your hand up shows how reflective you're being. Also, in verse 17, this is a great verse. Shri Krishna shares, Hridi sarvasya vishtitam, that in your heart, in all hearts, heart Don't think of this as a physical structure, but the feeling of that which is closest. What's in there? The knower, the knowing, and the known. In Sanskrit, we describe this as the triputi, which means the three facets. But the fact that they're all the same shows not dvaita, but oneness. Oneness. What's in your heart and my heart is the same. And Pujya Swami Tejomayananda shared, the fact that this is in our heart, no one is stopping us from knowing this, from being this, other than ourselves. You don't have to be born in a certain country. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't need a certain income. You don't need a certain language. You don't need anything. You just need you. And that's a given. Swadhyaya. Know who you are. Shri Krishna continues with a completing verse 19 before he continues with a new answer. I keep saying 19 because I'm looking at this. It's 18. I should take a pencil and change these. Iti kshetram tata jnanam nyeyam choktam samasataha madbhakta etad vijnaya madbhavayopapadyate. Joy. The first line, iti, thus, referring to the verses he's just shared, kshetra, and also jnana, and also jnaya, uktam. I've spoken about this. I've answered this. In which way? Samasataha, in a brief way, in a cryptic way. This is your translation. I'm zooming in. In verse 0, it's as if Prince Arjuna asked 6 questions. Now we fast forward to verse 18. Shri Krishna has answered 4 of them. The 4 that he has answered thus far are, what is kshetra? That was in verse 6. The simple English answer is useless. The next question, what is kshetrajna? That was answered in verse 2. The simple English answer, useful. IQ is useless if you don't have an SQ. Next, what is jnana? This was answered in verse 11, purity. And question 4, what is jnaya? That was answered in verse 12, being. Shri Krishna is stating, Prince Arjuna, I can sense your 6 questions. I've completed answering 4. Shri Krishna is now going to answer what Prakriti and Purusha are. That's coming in the next verses. One more reflection on samasataha. In English, it says brief. I've taught this in brief. When I think of brief, I think of briefcase. Now, what's important, the briefcase or what's inside of that briefcase? Whenever you come across terms like brief, shortly, in summary, this all has to be opened up. Meaningful Mornings is a really systematic approach to opening these verses, our hearts. Madbhakta etad vijnaya, my devotee, the one who's dedicated to me, knows this. These 4 questions and now the 4 answers. The one who loves me knows this. Let me continue, and then I have a practical thought to share. Madbhavaya upapadyate. The one who loves me knows this, and by knowing this, they enter into me. They become me. The theme of chapter 13 to 18 is Asi. How does Prince Arjuna become Sri Krishna? How does Tvam become Tat? Madbhakta, the one who is my devotee, this is in reference to chapter 12, which is on bhakti. The one who's practicing devotion doesn't mean that they're just emotional. Here Sri Krishna's sharing is they want to know more about me, that they will not be satisfied until they are me. What is Sri Krishna? Sri Krishna is a rishi. A rishi is one who is independent. A rishi is one who has become happy. And Sri Krishna is also a Raja. A Raja is one who loves. A Raja is one who helps others be happy. Sri Krishna is a Rishi Raja, one who is independent and loving, one who is happy and is helping others to be happy. If you want to be like Sri Krishna, if you want to be Sri Krishna, you also have to be a Rishi Raja. Rishi, we explore a lot in our culture, in Meaningful Mornings. I'm going to share a thought with all of you about what it means to be a Raja, one who loves, one who helps others to be happy. A Raja, in English, that means king, ruler. Best word is leader, is a Kshatriya. The etymology of the word Kshatriya is Kshatata Trayate. Kshatata Trayate, the one who transcends fear. The one who facilitates courage. In our culture, often a Kshatriya has the last name of Varma. Varma in Sanskrit means armor or kavacha. A Raja, a leader, is one who is to help others to be courageous, is one who is to be the armor of society. They are those who, to protect others, sacrifice themselves. A Raja is one who's engaged in a comprehensive yajna. They're dedicated to others, not in reference to toilets and food, but fear. And so they sacrifice themselves. A Raja, one who loves others, is to alleviate, tend to 5 types of fears. As you try to become Sri Krishna, please be aware he is protecting you from these 5 fears for you to do the same with others. Number 1, paraspara bhaya. The fear from those who are nearby. Family, friends. Number 2, parachakra. Technically, this means the fear from other countries. But for us, that's the fear from those we don't know. Paraspara, the fear that comes with my family, friends. Those I know. Parachakra, those I don't know. Number 3, Raja Vallabha, which means politicians. The fear that comes from corruption. A politician is one who's to live by policy. But there's a fear that that policy will not be enacted, executed. Number 4, Chora Bhaya. The fear that comes from thieves, those who are trying to take from us. And this happens with intellectual property, but more so, it happens where our phala, what we've earned, is taken by others. And this makes us feel smaller or insecure. Here's where I've shared with you many times. To live without this agenda for ROI. Recognition, ovation, inclusion. If someone takes your recognition, you need it more than I do. Correct? And number 5, Atavya Bhaya. Atavya means the jungle or forest. There's a fear of that which lives in the jungle or forest coming into the city, coming into your home. Yes, in Florida, it's alligators. And that's why in our culture, the Rajas at times engaged in mrigaya, which means hunting. They didn't do this because they were angry. They didn't do this because they wanted to dominate nature. They did this to protect those who were living in the villages and towns and cities. That's very different, correct, in terms of intention. So for us too, to have the right relationship with nature, that only if nature is interfering with you, to stop that. But in the present day, nature never interferes with us. These thoughts are most practical about how we should live. To facilitate fearlessness in these 5 directions, so we too become a Rishi Raja, one who loves in a meaningful way. We will continue with Prince Arjuna's questions. From inspiration to application, your application was to know that there are 34 verses in this chapter. Yesterday, we completed half of this chapter. To be organized with this chapter. During this chapter, I've encouraged you to actively listen to the Parenting Culture podcast, which is based on chapter 13. I've actively encouraged you to download our Virtues for Relationships book, also based on chapter 13. Additionally, I've encouraged you to download Prince Arjuna's question. Your specific application for this morning is read the remaining verses of this chapter. Just read the Sanskrit, the translation, so that when these thoughts are shared in more detail, this is more easy for you to internalize. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.